Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel that is Nursing Tricks. I hope you people are safe in your home and please do view my videos that I have uploaded. So I have already uploaded the video of the how to crack the AIMS nursing entrance exam and how what all schedule you people should take into consideration if you want to guarantee your seat. And I have already started with the lectures of research. So students, I would like you to please go through all these videos so that your chapter 1 will be completed, and from today I am starting chapter 2, that is overview of research process. And in this chapter we will be covering basic research terminologies and quantitative research process, qualitative research process, and along with that the ethics in the research. So these are the topics that I will be going to cover in this chapter 2, but in today's video I will be covering only the basic research terminologies. And why is it important to know the basic research terminologies? Because students, if you will not study about this basic terms, you will not be able to understand the next chapters. Okay, so please make sure that you view this video till end, and if you have not subscribed my channel, dear friends, please do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get the notification from the Nursing Tricks. So now I am starting off with the chapter 2. Again I am repeating, that is overview of research process. So I am starting, friends. So this is chapter 2. You can see on screen, this is overview of research process. In today's video, we will be just covering the basic terminologies. So I am just taking a pen. Okay, so basic terminologies. The first term you can see on the screen is, friends, abstract. It is abstract. You can see here it is abstract. So what is abstract? So let me read what is exact definition of abstract is. It is clear, it is concise, summary of a study. So first of all, it should be clear. When you are calling anything, it is anything a clear thing. The clear thing is when you are writing something in a very concise form. So double C or C square, you can remember clear and concise. Friends, clear and concise summary of the study that you are writing, so that communicates the essential information about the study to the general population. Okay, so it is a double C or C square, is a clear concise summary of a study that communicates the essential information about the study. Okay, now where will you find this abstract? If you will go through any journal, so in research journal it is usually located at the beginning of an article. So if you will go through the article, in the beginning itself you can find the abstract words and a word abstract, and below that abstract you will find that the researcher has written the main, or in nutshell he or she has defined his or her study. Okay, so this is abstract. I hope this word abstract is clear to you. And also, if you want to see, please, you can just Google it. You can go to PubMed and you can just open up any article and you can see the abstract written over there. And if you have any doubt, please do comment. I will explain it again. Okay, so abstract, double C we will remember, and where we can find this abstract. Okay, I hope this abstract is clear to you. Please view this video till end, because today I will be covering all the terminologies, friends. Okay, I am moving on to my next term, that is data. Please pronounce it as data. Don't pronounce it as data. Many of us, we are pronouncing it as data, but the data word is not correct word. My teacher has taught me that it is a data. I was also pronouncing it wrong. It is not data, it is data. Okay, so now what is data? So here we can see on the screen it is written units of information. So it is a unit of information, the thing which is carrying an information. to that information you are calling it as a data. So units of information or any statistics, or even it can be facts, it can be in the form of figures, it can be in a form of a general material or evidence or knowledge, that you are collecting when you are conducting your study, or you can say what that thing you are collecting during the course of study. So what thing here we have to remember, it is a unit of information, it is a unit of information. So yes friends, we will remember the one word, that is units of information is a data, and it can be in any form, it can be in statistics, facts, figures, general material, evidence, knowledge that you are collecting during the course of study. So no need to mug up the things, no need to just ratify the things, you just have to understand the meaning of the words. So here in this slide we have learned two words. Abstract, we have learned C square, it is a clear and concise summary of a study. And data, data is a units of information that you are collecting during the course of study. I hope this much is clear to you. If it is not clear, please do comment so that I can just change my pace. If you want me to change it, I can change my language, I can change the volume. Please do comment, okay, and please do watch this video till end. Okay, moving on to the next slide. So now next term friends, which is very important, and you can see this term everywhere, and I have already told you in my last video that when this word will come in my next chapter, I will explain you there what is the variable. In my last video I have told you the variable is something which is keep on changing, which is not stable, which is not static. Okay, so here the definition of variable says that it is a attribute, you can call it as attribute. If you find this word very difficult, just leave this word. You can call it as characteristics. So we will say it is a characteristics that have more than one value. So anything which is having more than one value, for example height, weight, okay, so height and weight, they have more than one value. It can be starting from 1 kg and it can go up to infinity. Okay, so height, weight, so in other words you can call it as variables are the qualities, they are the quantities, okay, and the properties of characteristics of people. So these things, so in other words, when we are calling it as qualities, quantities, properties or characteristics of people, things or situation that change. So dear friends, I have already told you this word change or vary is very important. Okay, so characteristics that have more than one value, or you can call things or situations that change or vary. So this is the definition of variable. I hope variable is clear, that keep on changing, that vary from time to time. So this is variable. Now variables are of different types. So first one is dependent variable, second one is independent variable, third one is research variable, fourth one is demographic, and fifth one is the extraneous variable. Now coming on to the definition of all these variables. So here I have marked 5 ticks: dependent, independent, research, demographic and extraneous. I hope you will remember dependent, independent, research, demographic and extraneous variable. Now coming on to the first variable, type of variable, which is dependent variable friends. Dependent variable is also known as the criterion variable, is also known as the criterion variable. Now please do remember this word criterion, because many a times you will find this word instead of finding dependent variable in the stem. Okay, so now what is criterion variable or dependent variable? Variable that change as independent variable is manipulated by the researcher. Now what is this independent variable? Now let's take an example. For example, if you want to see the effect of any teaching method of, or you want to see the effect of any video assisted teaching on in increase in the knowledge of the nursing officer. I am repeating my example. If you want to see the effect of the video assisted teaching to the nursing officer's knowledge and attitude, skills or practice, so in this, what is the dependent variable? Here friends, dependent variable is something which is changing, which is dependent. So dependent is the knowledge, attitude and skills. They are dependent on what? The video assisted technique, because video assisted technique is not going to change. The thing which you are showing, it will remain that thing only, the stable thing. But once you will show that video to the nursing officers, definitely there will be increase or decrease in the knowledge, attitude and the skill. So here the dependent variable is knowledge, attitude, skills, or you can call practices. I hope it is clear. And independent variable here is the video assisted teaching. So this is dependent variable. I hope it is clear. Now moving on to the independent variable. Now independent variable is, or you can call it as manipulated variable. Now manipulated variable itself is telling you are manipulating something. So now the manipulation in this particular example is the video assisted technique that you are using to increase the knowledge, practice or skill of the nursing officer. So this is independent variable. So variable that are purposely manipulated. Purposely I am manipulating this particular thing so that I can see the increase or decrease in the knowledge of the nursing officers. So this is the independent variable. So the statement which I have formulated for you people, that is effect of the video assisted teaching in increase in the knowledge, attitude and skill of the nursing officers. So in this particular stem, friends, you can see the dependent variable is knowledge and attitude, and independent variable is dependent variable is your this knowledge and attitude, okay, and independent variable is your video assisted teaching. I hope you are clear. Now next is the research variable. Now what is research variable? So these are the qualities, properties or characteristics that are observed or measured in a natural settings without manipulation. Now here, if you are just measuring something in the natural setting without just manipulating anything, so that type of variables are known as the research variables. For example, let's take an example. If you just want to see the breastfeeding behavior of an infant that time, and you are not manipulating anything, so you just want to see their breastfeeding behavior once they are getting transited from the any type of the feeding from the breastfeeding. Okay, so this type of thing is research variable is here is the breastfeeding behavior. I hope research variable is clear, in which you are not manipulating anything, just you are seeing or you are observing the natural, you are observing your variable in a natural setting. So that is the research variable. I hope research variable is clear. Next is the demographic variables. Now what is demographic variables? So demographic data we all know. So when we are taking the demographic sheet, for example like age, gender, etc., educational status, you can call religion, social class, marital status, habitat, occupation, income, medical diagnosis and so on. So this type of data when you are collecting, so this type of data is the demographic variable, and you know this type of data is different for every individual. So this is the demographic variable. So the characteristics and attributes of the study subjects that are considered demographic variables, for example age, gender and etc., or you can call marital status, habitat, occupation, etc. Now moving on to the next is extraneous variables, or you can call it as confounders, and or you can call it as confounding variables. So either of these three names you can find in your STEM. So extraneous variables, confounders, or confounding variables. So now what are they, what all are they? So extraneous variables are the factors that are not the part of study but may affect the measurement of the study variables. Now let's take an example here. For example, if you want to see the change in the weight, if you are just changing the diet of in particular population or particular sample, so I am again repeating, if you want to see the change in weight after 1 month, if you are planning a diet of a sample, so here the variable, your this research variable is the what you want to see, the weight, but the extraneous variables are the things, for example, like if you are not taking into the consideration the activity of daily living of that particular sample. Okay, for example, like if a particular sample is indulged in the swimming, jogging, cycling, so that will definitely affect the change in weight. Definitely after 1 month, if that particular individual will come to you, the weight will be decreased. So that is the extraneous variables. But why we are calling it as extraneous? Because we are not taking that variable into consideration, or we are not studying that particular variable, and they will definitely affect the measurement of the weight. So that is what is written over here. Extraneous variables are the factors that are not the part of study, but it will definitely affect the measurement of the study variables. So I hope these variables are clear: dependent, independent, research variable, demographic variable, and the extraneous variable. Now moving on to the next slide. Now next is the operational definition. Now what is this operational definition is? So it is the way by which a researcher clarifies and defines the variables under investigation. Now it is the researcher way. So it depends on the researcher how he or she wants to clarify, or how she or he wants to define the particular variable under investigation. For example, maybe high BP, if an particular researcher wants to see the change in the blood pressure, if he or she is just putting or manipulating some or the other thing, he or she may take the range of low BP as from 60 or 100. So it depends totally on the researcher. So this is the operational definition, means what exactly the researcher clarifies or researcher defines in that particular research or that particular study. So this is the operational definition. It is not that if you are taking a definition directly from a dictionary, so that is not the operational definition, friends. It is the researcher who defines, so that whenever people like me, or you, if we are reading some or the other research, we will be able to know that okay, so this is the definition, and these are the cutoff values which the researcher has taken. I hope it is clear. This is the operational definition. Now what is the concept? This word is very common, concept. It is a word, picture, or a mental idea of phenomenon. Okay, word, picture. So in a word or just a mental idea of any phenomena, when you are just putting into a word, when you are putting into a word any mental idea, that time you are calling it as a concept. Now concepts are the words or terms, you can say they are the words or they are the terms that symbolize some aspect of reality. For example, let's take an example like stress, pain, or love. And friends, concepts are the building blocks of the theory. I am again repeating, when you are giving a word picture to your mental idea or phenomena, that type of thing is known as concept. For example, like stress, that is a mental idea to which you have given a word, stress. That pain is also just a mental idea of a phenomena which is occurring into you. You have given a word picture, pain or love. I hope concept is clear. Moving on to the next, that is the construct. Now what is construct? Now construct is highly abstract. It is a very complex phenomena, is denoted by, or it is made up of construct term. A construct term is used to indicate a phenomena that cannot be directly observed but must be inferred by certain concrete or less abstract indicators of the phenomena. For example, wellness, mental health, you can't just you can't calculate, or you can't see them directly, or you can't observe them directly. So for I have already given you the example, like wellness, mental health, self esteem, they all are the constructs, and they can only be measured through the indefinable and measurable concepts. For example, let's take an example, then how you can measure them. If we cannot measure them directly by observing, then how can we measure them? For example, like wellness, you can observe, you can measure, or you can assess through the laboratory data. If you are taking the laboratory data, for example, if you are monitoring the SpO2, if you are just taking this blood pressure, then you can say that okay, that particular individual is well. So I hope this concept and construct and operational definition is clear to you. Okay, I am moving on to the next slide. So next is the proposition. Very important. Next is the proposition. Now what is this proposition is? This proposition is a statement or assertion of relationship between concepts. For example, let's take an example. So it is from this statement I understood that it is something, the relationship is there between two concepts. Now that relationship is of what? This relationship is between, let's take an example, relationship between level of anxiety and performance. So whether if the anxiety, performance increases or the performance decreases. So here you can see two concepts, the performance and the anxiety. So when you are putting any relationship between these type of two concepts, again we have used the word, this concept, so you are calling it as a proposition. I hope proposition is clear to you. So next is the conceptual framework. Now what is this conceptual framework? So interrelated concepts or abstractions that are assembled together in some rational form. So whenever you are just interrelating the two concepts, okay, so the two concepts can be like if the particular thing is happening because of that thing. For example, like in hilly areas you have seen there is the increase in RBC. Why? Because of the hilly areas, because of the oxygen demand there, because they have high oxygen demand, so they are having increase RBCs. So that is interrelated concept or abstraction that you have assembled together in some rational form. That type of thing is known as the conceptual framework. Okay, next is the assumption. Now what is assumption? It is a basic principle that are accepted as being true on the basis of logic or reason. So assumption is when you are just assuming something without any proof or without any verification. That type of thing, or that type of, when you are putting together or you are accepting something, is known as assumptions. So it is a basic principle just which you are just accepting without proof or verification. Now next is hypothesis. Now what is hypothesis? Now what is the difference between assumption or hypothesis? Now hypothesis is a statement of the predicted relationship. Here you are predicting something, that there is this type of relation between your dependent and independent variable. So a statement of the predicted relationship between two or more variables in a research study. So an educated or calculated guess. So here you can see the difference. It is a without proof and it is an educated or the calculated guess by the researcher. Now what is literature review? Literature review, a critical summary or research on a topic of interest. So whenever you are just planning to conduct a research, before planning you have to go through a process known as literature review, in which you just review all the literature on that particular idea on which you are planning to conduct the research, so that in hand you should have the thing that I should not be repeating the same thing, and also from where I have to start. So it is a critical summary or research on a topic of interest. Next is the limitation. Now what is limitation? So every research is having one or the other limitation. It is a restrictions in a study that may decrease the credibility and generalizability of the research findings. So the word itself is saying limitation. When we are conducting, friends, the study in a particular institute or a particular population, we can say that particular population we are conducting, so that is the limitation. We are not able to assess the other population in the other institute, so this is the limitation. Next is the manipulation. Manipulation is an intervention or treatment. We have already seen this. So I hope this proposition, conceptual framework and assumption, hypothesis and literature review, limitation and manipulation is clear to you. I am moving on to the next slide. Now next is the population. Now what is this population? So population is the entire set of individuals or objects having some common characteristics selected for the research study. For example, if I want to conduct the study on infants, so I will just take the newborn of 1 year, okay, and that too I have to limit them on particular institute, okay. So the entire set of, so this entire set of individual is that I will be just taking the infants, okay, below 1 year of age, and they are having the common characteristics, so their milestones will be almost same, selected for the research study. So this is the population. Now the population is further divided into two. This is the target population and accessible population. Now what is target population? When the entire population in which the researcher are interested and to which he would like to generalize the findings. So the whole population in which I am interested in the infants. So infants is my target population, and to which he would like to, and I would like to generalize my findings to the infant population. So this is my target population. Now next, what is the accessible population? Accessible population is, it is the aggregate of cases that conform to designated inclusion or exclusion criteria. Now I may take the infants, those who will be admitted in the NICU, okay. I will be taking the infants, those who are on breastfeed. So this type of, when I am just putting this inclusion or exclusion criteria, that time I am calling it as the accessible population. So I hope the difference between the target population and accessible population is clear to you. Next, what is the sample? Now sample is a part or subset of a population selected to participate in the study. So here you can see, if this is your population, this box, this cube which you can see on the screen is a population, and you are just selecting a part of it and you are selecting this. So this is your sample and this whole cube is representing your population. So I hope it is clear what is sample and what is population. So here sample is a part or subset, you can call population, subset of a population that is selected to participate in the study. Now next is the representative sample. Now what is this representative sample? A sample whose characteristics are highly similar to that of the population from which it is drawn. So representative sample, they are those, first of all, their characteristics are similar. and characteristics are similar to the population from which you have extracted that particular sample. So this is the representative sample. Now next is very important, and in my next videos you will see this chapter, the sample and the sampling procedure and process. So here just I will be giving you the definition. What is the sampling? So sampling, it is a sampling. So the sampling is the process. So process of selecting sample from the target population. Here is the target population that we have already seen to represent the entire population. So the process, which process you are choosing to select your sample from the target population, it is known as the sampling process. Now it is of basically of two types, the probability sampling and the non-probability sampling. Now what is this probability sampling? It is the probability means whenever you are using the random procedure to select your sample. So here the important word is random procedure. When you are using the random procedure, that type of sampling process is known as the probability sampling, and when you are using the non-random procedure, friends, that time you are calling it as a non-probability sampling procedure. So I hope this word, which are very very important, population, target population, accessible population, in sample you have seen representative sample and sampling process, probability sampling and the non-probability sampling. I am moving on to the next slide. So now comes the words which are very important: reliability, validity, pilot study and analysis. So here you can see the word reliability. So it is the degree of consistency or accuracy with which an instrument measures the attributes it is designed to measure. Now what is reliability? Let me give you an example. First let me read this validity also. Validity is the degree to which an instrument measures what it is intended to measure. Now let's take an example. Suppose you have this weighing machine with you. Okay, so we all know that weighing machine is designed to measure the weight of an individual. Okay, now if you ask an individual to just stand on that particular weighing machine, so if that weighing machine is giving the weight, if that weighing machine is giving the weight of an individual, so that time you can call that weighing machine as valid machine. You can call that weighing machine as valid machine. Why? Because it is measuring the same thing which is it is intended to measure. It is measuring the weight only. It is not measuring the height of an individual. It is measuring the weight only. So you can call that weighing machine as the valid machine. Now what is reliable? When you will call that machine as reliable? Okay, so now if you will ask that particular individual to stand again on that weighing machine, and if that weighing machine is showing the same result as of before, you can call that weighing machine as reliable machine, because that particular machine is measuring consistent and accurate weight every time when you are asking the same individual to stand on the weighing machine. So I hope the difference between reliability and validity is clear to you. Now I am moving on to the pilot study. So pilot study is carried out at the end of the planning phase. So pilot study, when you are conducting the study that you are actually planning on a small sample. So study carried out at the end of the planning phase. First thing that you have to remember, in order to explore and test the research elements. So for exploring and testing the research elements to make the modification in the tools and methodology. So this type of study is known as the pilot study. Next is the analysis, and which is the last in terminologies, friends. So analysis is the methods of organizing, sorting and scrutinizing data in such a way that research question can be answered or meaningful inferences can be drawn. Now, why we are conducting the research? Why we are collecting the data? Why we are doing this sampling process? Because we want to see the results. We want to see the change. So that change, if you want to see, you have to analyze the data you have just collected. And how you can just analyze that data? You will first organize, because unorganized data, friends, you can never analyze. So you have to sort that data, then you have to scrutinize the data, and you have to do these three things in such a way that research question can be answered, or the meaningful inference, what exactly you want to say, can be drawn. So this is the definition of analysis. So I hope, friends, that the definitions are clear to you. So we have seen today the basic terminologies of in which we have covered abstract, data, variables, in which dependent variable, independent variable, research variable, demographic variable, extraneous variable, operational definitions, concept, construct we have seen, proposition, conceptual framework, assumptions, hypothesis, literature review, limitations and manipulations, population, sample, representative sample, sampling procedure we have seen, reliability, validity, pilot study and analysis we have seen. So today we have seen the basic terminologies in chapter 2, and in my next video I will be starting off with the quantitative, qualitative and ethics in the nursing research. So please view my next videos, and please do hit the bell icon so that you will get the notification of my next video. And friends, be punctual in studies, as I am uploading my videos on time. So please, you should also be in time to watch all the videos. And anything that you want me to clear again, please do comment. I am always ready, and I will cover that topic in my next video. So thank you so much.